Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another video in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and today we're covering the Endurance 6-star event where you try and get Mace Windu's capital ship to 6 stars, which used to be the highest that you could get to. And for the longest time I was seeing the screen you're seeing there, the defeat screen. I was having such a hard time figuring out how to beat this battle. Too long didn't watch, here's what you need to know. This is the team that I put together in order to beat the Mace Windu battle. And I got to tell you, the latest thing that I did, the thing that got me over the top, was getting the Phantom 2. I had gotten the Ghost early. That was one of the last ships I'd gotten, and I gotten Rex's Arc 170. And with those and the rest of the team that you saw there, I was just not able to beat this battle. I had a really good Biggs and Wedge. They were 7-star. They were Gear 10, modded, with 5-dot mods. They were really good. A couple of other decent ships were in there, and I just couldn't get close to beating this thing. So the final thing that got me over the top was the Ghost helped a little bit. The Rex's Arc 170 helped a lot, but even still, I tried this thing 30, 40 times, was not getting it done. But when I got the Phantom 2, that is what pushed me over the top. And as you can see, the Phantom 2 is not starred or geared well for me at all. But the fact that it gave me just an extra target lock or two was enough to get the job done. So we're in now. This is the successful run here. And I'm not going to do a play-by-play because in time you do this encounter, it's going to be different. If one of your ships get attacked by the enemy, what order the enemies use their attacks in, whether Tarkin reinforces or not. So instead, I'm going to give some general tips and talk about my approach to the battle. And then as long as you know you've got similar gearing and ships to what I do, you'll know it's possible and you'll be able to approach it the way you want. The general tips for me, I think you need to go defensive. Unless you've got, if you have enough offense to beat this, then you don't need this video because your ships and your pilots are just so well geared that you'll steamroll through this, right? If you're watching this, you're struggling, you're close, you're trying to figure out when am I going to be able to beat it, because it's important for territory battles. You need a 6-star capital ship to participate in the battles on the final day of territory battles. So while I prefer Akbar, I haven't 6-starred him yet either. The fact that I got this one done means I can now participate in those battles. So the big thing that I focused on is defense, and the centerpiece of that defense is, of course, Biggs Darklighter. And for Biggs, every time you hit a target lock, he regenerates some shields. So getting target locks on the enemy is good. If you start the battle off and you do your Biggs first attack and your Phantom 2 target lock attack and you don't get any target locks, it might be worth retreating because your RNG just didn't go well enough and you might get whittled down there. In terms of order of targets, I think the first order TIE fighters are the first thing you need to get rid of. Another big factor of RNG here is what the enemy is able to successfully target lock. When the enemy attacks one of your ships that has target lock, those first order TIE fighter pilots get crazy turn meter. They can get 2-3 turns in a row before you're able to do anything because they can double tap a target locked enemy, have one or two of their friends go hit a target locked enemy, and then they're going to go again and get more hits on a target locked enemy. So it's important you survive the first wave without losing any ships. You get the damage spread out, and then you're able to take down the 2 first order TIE fighter pilots fairly quickly. But while you're doing that, you make sure you're keeping Biggs's health and protection up. So whenever you have a target lock attack, make sure you use that. Rex can recharge protection, so he's great to use that, and be smart with your target selection. If Rex attacks an enemy without a buff or debuff, he can apply target lock. So you may say, well, I really want to get that first order TIE fighter down, but it already has a debuff on it. Well, if one of the other enemy ships doesn't have that, attack that one instead. The protection gain for Biggs is going to be more important than that little bit of damage. Again, unless you're getting rid of the TIE fighter with that next shot. That's a judgment call you'll be able to make. But between Biggs's own target lock from Rex, protection gain from Rex, target lock from the Phantom 2, the taunt, which also regens some protection from the Endurance itself, you've got a lot of options there to keep Biggs healthy. So in my run, I got extremely lucky that Tarkin here never decided to reinforce. That was crazy that happened. But that's not necessary. You don't need that kind of crazy luck with this kind of setup. I actually ran this battle once after just getting the Phantom 2, and I wasn't recording, and the battle didn't go as smoothly as this, but I got to the end and I knew I could have beaten it, so I stopped, retreated, and then set up recording later in the day. And this was the run that actually got recorded, and it went even better. So uh, be smart. You're going to have to sit through a couple of first waves. If they focus fire all on Wedge and he gets taken out in the first volley, yeah, retreat, try again until you get a nice start to the battle. And then you want to keep Biggs alive, especially if he's a strong character for you, and he should be because he's useful in a lot of arenas in terms of where he can apply his strength if you invest the gear in him. Territory battles, ships, arena, squad arena itself. So you want to keep him around. So what I did in this run, as you saw, is I kind of sacrificed Rex early on. I could have tried to make an effort to save him or tried to get Rex to taunt. When he wasn't, I instead said, you know what, I'm going to let them attack Rex and let Rex go down because he had already gotten his protection up buff off, and I figured that would be more valuable in the long run. But there's a lot of ways to skin that cat. Focus on keeping Biggs topped off, healthy, taunting if you can. Get the First Order TIE pilots down as your first priority, then get Slave 1 down as your next priority, and then clean up. And of course, you do have a bit of a clock because of the TIE Fighter Swarm Ultimate from Tarkin. Could be very damaging, but if you have a number of your ships with decent protection and health, you can survive that attack, but you don't want to deal with it if you don't have to. And as you saw in this run here, I didn't have to. And then once that's complete, you of course get rewarded with enough shards to move the endurance up to 6 stars. So hopefully you guys found this video useful. What I'm going to do with the remaining time is just kind of go through my team in detail. I'll show you each ship. I'll show you each pilot. You can see the gear, the mods, all that if you really want the minute detail instead of what was on that first TLDW screen. You'll have it here so you can compare your fleet to mine. And if you're close to this, if you've got a similar lineup, similar power level, then know that this is definitely possible, and you can go ahead and grab yourself the 6-star endurance. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, if you found it useful, I really would appreciate a like on the video. And as always, you can subscribe to Meat City Gaming for future Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.